I got 5 keys to the game as well, and our first key was very similar. Korean 49ers said no turnovers for Jimmy G. I'm saying one or less,
Okay.
right? One or less, I think the Niners win. All right, so take care of the ball, Jimmy. The second key, Grant, early on in the year, this pass defense was giving up a ton of yards, pass interference, right? The deep balls, the DBs were getting flagged for PI constantly, right? Seems like we've cleaned that up the second half of the year. Not as many pass interferences, but it's like there's like a new hole in the defense, in the zone. Where do you think? I'll ask you, where do you think the hole in the defense has been the last 3 or 4 weeks?
I don't think they've had one.
You're right. No, the defense has played
pretty
well.
solid. I mean,
yeah,
like when they've had injuries in the secondary, they've given up some big plays. But like when Tart went down, they gave up some big plays against Cooper Kupp. But really, right now, their defense is incredibly solid. Like their front seven is so good right now. It's making everything really good.
No, it is. But the one spot that I've been seeing where receivers and tight ends have been beating us is over that deep middle part of the field. Like usually where Fred Warner locks it down. You know, I remember
like
T.
in zone
Higgins
coverage
was carving us up on those posts.
Those guys are covering grass, right? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's been the hole. So we got to lock that down. All right. We can't be getting carved up over the middle. Fred Warner needs to be aware. Like he's really good in zone, but he needs to take it to another level. It's playoff season. All right. So that's key number 2. And the third one is the pass rush, right? Armstead started out the year slow, but he's really turned it on these last couple of weeks. So we need Armstead to keep performing and balling out like he has been. And my boy Arden Key, and yes, our gentleman's bet. You know I nailed that. I appreciate the shout. I heard you shout me out on.
That was the best offseason call of any of the offseason calls from anyone. That was great, dude. Arden Key, Barry Baller 18.
Hey, I appreciate it. So Key, and then I got a guy who hasn't had a sack all year, but I think he's going to make a play tomorrow, and that's Kevin Gibbons. His snap count's been low. His snap count's been dipping a little bit, but I like Gibbons to make a play, whether it's a sack or just a big play tomorrow. And key number 4 is the right side of the O-line. I know PFF loves Tom Compton, but I still see this guy giving up 2 or 3 instant pressures every game. So one of those could be game changers, whether it's a sack fumble or Brunskill. So I'm looking at that right side of the O-line, and I want them to hold up. But the last key I got for you, Grant, is the run game. All right. I went back and I was looking at some game logs and I took out the games where Trey Lance played heavily, right? The 2 starts and then the half against the Seahawks. I took those games out because when Trey plays, the run game changes drastically, right? Mm-hmm. So the sample size was 14 games without Trey playing a bunch. And the Niners were 9-4, okay? In the 9 wins, the 49ers averaged 147 yards rushing. All right. In the 5 losses, the Niners averaged 74 yards rushing. So that tells you right there. I mean, that's almost double. We're averaging double the amount of rushing yards in the wins as opposed to the losses. So we got to get at least like 110, 120 on the ground.
Right. Which means that we got to play Jimmy Garoppolo for this game because he's the key. You got to. I mean, the way he hands off and motivates the running backs to run for 140 a game, it's just – I'm sorry. I couldn't – it was just you teed it up. You got any more?
Hey, no. That's all I got for you, Grant. Hey, I appreciate you taking my call. Go Niners. Hey, I've been trying to find my niche on YouTube, and what I've been doing, I've been cutting up every throw from Trey Lance or Jimmy G, whoever's been starting at quarterback. I chop it up, call me Chef Baller. And I put it on my YouTube, Bay Area Baller 18, if anyone wants to see that. I just talked to a Cowboys fan for an hour, Payday Trey, and we were going back and forth. So if anyone wants to check it out, it's on there.
Make sure you subscribe to that. I subscribe to it. Thank you, Bay Area Baller.
All right, Grant. Catch you next time.
All right. Peace, man. Mr. Big Twan 49er says Kyle should use Wilson and Sermon, not just Mitchell and Debo. Only way Mitchell will last. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Please make sure that Elijah Mitchell doesn't get hurt in this game. Grant, what do you think of Vikings interviewing D'Amico? You called it him being looked at as a head coach. Holy what are we going to do? Did that really happen? Is that going down? D'Amico, Vikings? That'd be a great call for them. Oh, nice. Yeah. Good for D'Amico. I think he's going to be like a Mike Vrabel type leader head coach. I know Mike McDaniel's very smart, but I'm not sure that that's the most important thing for a head coach. Again, was John Madden like super? Did he go to Yale?